All right, so we're going to start with another coaching session in regards to property flipping. All right, so like I was telling you before, the problem that I see with property flipping for most agents that are looking for properties in the MLS is that they spend 80% of the time looking for properties, searching for properties, and 20% of the time chasing the agents that have those properties and negotiating a transaction, when in fact, the real deal in this business is to spend as little as you can. That means 20% of your time finding and analyzing properties, and 80% of the time chasing down the agents that have those listings and getting into negotiation with them, because realistically speaking, that's the hardest part. Finding the properties and analyzing the properties, that's not too difficult. I'm going to show you how to do it right now really quickly. It's just getting those agents to answer, because they get bombarded with phone calls and text messages, etc. So most of them, they ignore you, especially if they know that you're an investor that wants to flip properties. They usually ignore you, right? So chasing the agents is what's important. So phone calls, text messages, emails, even faxes, faxing them stuff, whatever works, and however you can reach them. So we're gonna get into that right now. So most agents, I'm gonna start with this. Most agents will go into the MLS and they will go into residential listings, all right? And they will go to residential detail, for example, right? And then once here, they're gonna find all the active properties, and they're gonna pick a city or a county or whatever. So I'm just gonna do Los Angeles County just as an example, right? So Los Angeles County here. And when you go there and you go to results, and obviously you do it by city or whatever, and then you find, over 5,000 results. And then they do, and they go, property by property, and they look at this one, and they look at the next one, and they look at the next one, and so on and so forth. And really, what you're doing right now is you're going through 5,000 properties. Oh man, that's gonna take too long, So what we're gonna do it a little bit differently to narrow it down a little bit, right? So watch this now. I don't go to residential search. What I do is I do cross property, and I'll tell you the reason why. Because when you do residential, you're taking away duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes. And there may be some opportunities for flips on duplexes, triplexes, or fourplexes. So we cannot ignore those properties, right? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go to search. I'm going to go to cross property right here, detail. And I'm going to select active properties. So I'm going to do active. And I'm gonna go to the section here where it says property subtype. Now, if property subtype is not in your MLS, chances are it's because it's an additional field that need to be added. Like in my MLS, I had to add it. So what I did is I went to additional fields. I went to add remove, and I typed the word property subtype, which comes up in the list. Property subtype. There you go. And I just added it into the fields that I have available. So I already did that, so I'm not going to do it again, but it's already there. So when you go to property subtype, we're going to go back to property subtype right now. Give me 1 second. All right, so okay, I'm going to select single families. I am going to select duplexes right here. I'm going to select triplexes. I'm going to select quadruplexes. There you go. So I got those. I'm going to select active properties, and I'm going to select Los Angeles County, for example, or San Bernardino, or Riverside, or Orange County, whatever that is, right? And when you do that, and we're not done yet, but I want to show you the results now. So when you go to active and you select a single, duplexes, triplex, and fourplex, you still have over 5,000 properties. Here's the next step. This is one most people don't know about. If you go to the property description, you can actually create a query for Matrix to find certain words, keywords. So watch this now. Most times when somebody's writing a property description, an agent is writing a property description, if the property is in needs of repairs or something like that, they're going to use some keywords. They're going to say, well, this property is perfect for a flipper, or this property is ready for flip, or they're going to use the term fixer, which a lot of people use fixer. This is a fixer property. They're going to use another term called TLC, tender loving care. They're going to use another one, handyman special, bring your hammer. You start seeing all these little keywords that they use, right? I'm going to start with the most popular one right now. I'm going to start with fixer, which is the most popular one, right? Either flip or fix or something like that. So if I put just the word fixer here, nothing is going to come out. Zero. What we need to do is we need to encase it inside of asterisks. When you put asterisk, fixer, asterisk, now it becomes a query. And now you found 127 properties out of 5,000 properties that have the word fixer on them. All right. And if I put a comma now and I type another word and I'm going to do flip, for example, it goes from 127 to 162. And if I add another comma and I do another one and I do, for example, TLC, it goes from 162 or whatever that number was to 379 and so on and so forth, right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with one keyword at a time. All right. So what I do is I do it on rotation. So for example, on Monday, I will do fixers. And on Tuesdays, I will do flips. And then on Wednesday, I will do, whatever the next term is, right? So I do it on rotation, right? And what happens is you're going to find out, this is what you're going to find out, if you use all those terms, fixer, flip, TLC, investor special, handyman special, etc., you're going to find out there's probably about 500 out of 5,000 properties that have those terms. And you will analyze somewhere between 15 to 20 properties a day, which is the number that you should be working with every single day, is analyzing 15 to 20 properties. And if you do 20 properties a day, 5 days a week, 4 weeks and 4.5 weeks a month, you're analyzing probably about 500 properties. And every month more properties start coming into the equation. So we got the first part, finding the properties. So I always say this process is a 4-step approach. So we're going to start with the first step. The first step here, number 1, is finding the properties. So finding the property, that's number 1. Number 2, after finding the properties, establishing the value of the property. I'm going to talk about the after repair value of the property. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Number 3 would be the profitability. The repairs. I'm going to teach you how to do repairs, how to analyze repairs. Number 4 is profitability. And number 5 is pick up the phone and call the agent, basically. All right, so we're going to go through all this right now. So finding the property, evaluating the property, finding the repair amount, finding the profitability, and picking up the phone and calling the agent. So we're going to go through the next ones right now. So the next part is value, right? So I'm going to go to results here, and I'm going to pick one property at random. I'm just going to do one right here. I'm going to sort it out from lowest to highest because I want to start with the lowest price first. And I'm not going to go with anything under 100,000 because there's very little profit on properties that are worth less than 100,000. So I'm going to go with somewhere around 300. 300 sounds like a good number. So we can do this one here in Los Angeles, for example. This one here, it's been 2 days on the market. All right, this is in Los Angeles, and it's for sale. It's active for $320,000, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,000 square feet, etc. This is the next part. What I need to do is I need to find the after repair value of the property. But here, now I can spend the next 10 minutes creating a CMA. I could, but I'm not going to do that. And I'll tell you the reason why, because I don't even know if this property makes sense right now. So I don't want to spend another 10 minutes per property just doing CMAs. That doesn't make any sense. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm gonna play the odds right now, and I'm gonna do something most people don't like. Okay, but I'm gonna tell you it works for me. I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna go into Google. I'm gonna paste it. All right, and I'm gonna find the value of this property in Zillow. And now agents don't trust Zillow, but guess what? Consumers do. Consumers trust Zillow. I tell you this right now: if you have a listing that is for sale for $600,000 and Zillow says it's worth $550,000, you're gonna have a really hard time selling that listing. Because the consumers are looking at Zillow and they're like, hey, this listing is only worth $550,000. So I'm going to take that Zillow value, but I'm going to increase it a little bit. I'm going to take that Zillow value. So I'm going to find the property in Zillow right now. And I'm going to find out what the value for this property is according to Zillow. Whether it's right or wrong, that's a whole different story. All right. So look at this here. It says here, this is foreclosure estimate. So let me go to valuation because sometimes they put it down here. Oops. Give me a second. This thing is still loading. Okay, here we go. All right, foreclosure information, home value, right here. I'm going to go to home value. And Zillow says that this property is worth about $370,000. So now watch this. Because I know that I'm going to, once I refurbish a property, I'm going to increase the value of the property, because one of the principles of value is the condition of the home. If I better the condition of the home, the value is going to get better, right? So I am going to take the 370 and I'm going to multiply it by 1.1, which is 10% higher, and that's going to take me to 407,000. So I know that if I fix this property, chances are I will increase the value of this property between 5 to 10%. 10% is kind of the norm, you know. So I can increase the value of this property to around $407,000. So the first answer to the first question that we have here is, what is the after repair value of this property? It would be somewhere around $407,000. You see that? So very quickly I did this. Like I said, don't worry about it right now if that number is perfect. We're gonna get there in a minute. But right now, all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out if this property is gonna make sense or not. And if it doesn't, I need to move on to the next one. And if the next one doesn't, I need to move on to the next one, and so on and so forth. You see what I mean? So watch. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the repairs on the property. Okay, the repairs on the property. How much is gonna cost me to repair this property? I am going to use a rule of thumb. The rule of thumb by square footage, $45 per square feet. All right. And if it needs roof, 55. But for right now, I'm just going to do $45 per square foot. So my rule of thumb says $45 per square foot. So I'm going to take the square footage of this property, which is 1,027, multiplied by 45 equals 46,215. So the cost of repairs is going to cost me around $46,000. I tell you, I've been using this formula for many years, and my repairs are always somewhere between $5,000 of the number that I can come up with, because it's what it is. It's approximately how much it costs. All right, so $45 per square foot. So now we have the answer to the second question. Now let's do the answer to the third question. So for the third question, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into the Keswick calculator, which I have it under my flip program folder. You have my training app, right? REAZ, R-E-A-Z.
I don't.
You don't have it? You should have it. Yeah, you should download it like as soon as possible, because that's important. So I have a folder in there called property flips or flips and investments. And in that folder, you're going to find REAZ, 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 as in zebra. It stands for real estate from A to Z. Yeah, REAZ. That's it, REAZ. That's just type it and search for it. You found it, yeah, download it. All right, download it, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. Let's continue with this. All right, so in here, we're gonna find the Keswick submission form, so I'm gonna download it. You can do that from their phone. I have the back office, so I can go through the back office, but you can download it from the phone, right? And I'm downloading it right now, or you can email it to yourself, so you can download it on your computer. And this is the Keswick submission form. So this is what we have right now. We have the first part, which is the value of the property, which is $407,000. Come on, open up. I'm sorry, it takes forever for this to open. All right. All right, so let's go to here, enable editing. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger so I can see it better. So let's make it a little bit bigger here. Okay, there you go. Okay, perfect. A little too big. Let me make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so watch this now. It says here, what is the original sales price of the property? The original sales price is $319,900. All right, and it says here, oh, how much you're gonna offer? We don't know that yet. We're gonna figure that out in a second. What is the after repair value? $407,000. All right. What is the amount of repairs? $46,000. All right. Now, in order to find profitability, or how much you're going to offer for the property, we're going to look at the net profit right here. In the MAP program, we want the net profit to be over 40,000. I recommend 50, over $50,000. So you can split 25 plus commissions, etc. Right? So watch this now. If you go to the offer price here, and I'm going to start 323 minus 50, I'm going to start around 275. 275 will put me a $14,000 profit. That's not enough. So let's try 235. Okay. And that puts me at 59. That's a little bit too much. Let's do 240. 240, 53. Let's do 245. I can squeeze in a few more there. 247, somewhere around there, right? 247,000. So now I know that the maximum I can offer on this property, based on a sales price of 407 with an expense of repairs expense of $46,000, is in this case $245,000. Now I'm looking at this other portion right here. The LTV 77. What is 245 out of $320,000? That's a discount of $74,000. This is important. I'll tell you the reason why. What I'm looking for is I'm looking at a discount no greater than $100,000. And I'll tell you the reason why. Most sellers will not agree to sell you the property more than $100,000 that they have it listed for sale in most cases. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say you're the seller of your property and you know the property needs some repairs. Yeah. Like, you're aware of that, right? Yeah. But you want $400,000 on your property, right? And the listing agent already told you, 400, you're probably not going to get it. We'll make it 375, 350 or something like that. Am I willing to, to discount it a little bit? Sure. I can discount it 25,000. I can discount it 50,000. I may even discount it $75,000. But if you come to me with an offer $150,000 less than what I'm asking, what are the chances you're going to say yes? I'm not saying you will or you won't. All I'm saying is I rather focus on the properties in which we're not discounting that amount so much that it's going to be close to impossible to get them to agree on the price, right? Yeah. I'm going to try to keep it hopefully under $100,000. And this property is it's a good situation, this one property. But you will see some other properties, when you punch in the numbers, Zillow, for example, says the property is worth $400 and they want $800,000 for it. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Yeah, I mean, I make, if somebody's asking $800,000 for a $400,000 property, I'm gonna have to look into it and see what is the deal. Is there something there that I don't know? Because there may be something there that I don't know. But quite honestly, if you're asking too much for it to start with, to begin with, if you're asking more than market value to begin with, negotiating down, $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 is going to be really, really difficult, right? So that's that. So, but now you have this. Watch. Now you have this. The value, the after repair value is somewhere around 407. You know that the repairs are 46. The profitability is 47 at $245,000. The last part of this right here, what does it say? It says pick up the phone and call the agent. Pick up the phone and call the agent. You're
negotiating to that
price. Right, exactly. Pick up the phone and call the agent, and this is how the conversation goes. Hey, George, this is Ronnie with Berkshire Hathaway. Listen, our company is interested in buying your property or listing at 123 Main Street, whatever, and we can offer you $245,000. How does that sound? Just ask the question. How does that sound? And now you're going to get one of three answers. The agent is going to say, go to hell, right? Okay. Or he's going to say, send me the offer, I'll present it. Or they're going to say, watch this, well, we already had an offer for $245, they didn't accept it, but if you send me $275, I may be able to get it through. Now I go back to my computer and I put in $275 and I see whether or not that's going to make sense for me. In some cases it is, some cases it isn't. All I'm trying to say is chances are you're going to get one or three answers. And I know because I got them, right? The first answer is don't even bother because the guy is not going to take anything less than 300. So don't even bother sending an offer, right? Or the second answer would be send me the offer, I'll present it. I don't know. Or the third answer will be, well, if you give me this much, maybe we can get in business, right? But it doesn't matter. So now watch this. What's important here is that we only spend we spend less than 5 minutes figuring out the value for this property or how much we're willing to pay for this property. Literally, we spend 5 minutes doing that, right? You take 20 properties, you spend 5 minutes a property, right? You're going to spend what, an hour or so, whatever, right, doing this? And then the rest of the day, what you're going to do is you're going to be chasing down agents. That's where the 20-80 rule is. 20% of the time is finding the properties, analyzing profitability, and then 80% of the time is chasing down the agents and trying to get a negotiation started. That's what most agents fail. Most agents will call the listing agent once, maybe twice, hardly 3 times, and never 4 times. And I'm here to tell you that in most cases, you're going to have to follow up with the agents anywhere between 6 to 12 times before you actually get an answer. And that's where success in the property flipping is all about. You wouldn't believe how many offers I get on my listings, and those are automated. I know they're automated. It's like they have a software that automatically shoots offers, on properties, new listings in the MLS. You wouldn't believe how many offers I get on my properties where the agent never calls me. They just send the offer because it's an automated system, so they don't care. They don't even know what the system is doing. They're just sending offers. You know what I do with that? I put them in the trash.
You mean zip form?
No, there's a separate software. There's a completely separate software that writes offers for you. All right? And we're going to talk about that in a completely different training, but that's a whole nother animal and it costs a lot of money, and you have to be ready because it costs about $500 a month. So unless you're sending out thousands and thousands of offers across the country, that's probably not going to work for you. But what I'm saying is I'm getting these offers that I know are from automated systems, and I know they're automated because I put the listing and 8 minutes later I get an offer. It's like it's impossible for a human being to send me an offer in 8 minutes. You know what I mean? So I get these offers, but here's the kicker on that, right? The agents never call me. They never call me. They just send the offer. You know what I do with that? Put them in the trash, right? And that's what happens with most agents that are not following up on the listing, with the listing agents. You submit an offer, you call them once, hey, I sent you an offer, call me back, and you don't call them again. I mean, it's a waste of time. The 20-80 rule. Let's do another one. Let's do one more.
All this is being recorded, right?
Yes.
What about the voice?
Yes, absolutely. Let's do this one here. Ruthellen Street. You came across that one? All right, let's do that one. Ruthellen, Los Angeles. Where is Zillow here? Here it is. Okay. So let's see what Zillow says about this property. Good stuff, huh? Yeah, man, I like it. This is where fortunes are made. All right, look at this. Oh, I like this one already. Look at this. Zestimate 457,971. All right. So let's do this. 457,971 times 1.1 equals 503. So I'm gonna put 503 after repair value. So 503 after repair value. All right. Now we're gonna do the repairs. It's 1,374. 1,374 times 45 equals 61,830. 61,000. What did I say?
830.
830. Okay. And then purchase price. What is the original purchase price? 349. Yeah, 349. Okay. So 349. 349. All right. And now we're gonna go to profitability. So we're gonna get this number to 50,000. So let's do 345. That's too little. 315. Getting closer. 300. 56. Let's do 305. 51. I can squeeze in a little bit more. 310. Oops, not 31,000. 45. Nah, let's do 305. 305. Maybe I can squeeze in a little bit more later. All right. So now I know that I can offer 305 on this property. Now watch this. The property is selling for 349. We're offering 80% loan to value, $44,000 less. Will they accept $44,000 less? Maybe yes. Maybe they would. 44,000 doesn't sound as bad, right? Doesn't sound as much as $150,000 less, right? Let me find one that I want to do the opposite of this. I want to do one that is completely like, completely wrong, like to say that, Let's see. Let me do something. I'm gonna do something here. Hold on. I'm gonna do something here. See if it works. Let me go to square feet. Let me do 350 plus. Let me do the results here. All right, let me take one that is expensive here for around 640. I try to stay away from those properties that are like over 600,000 because there's very little. This one looks like it's really bad shape. This one's gonna need
Keswick will go?
800 for the most part, but you will notice that once you start going, look, this property is super bad. This property needs like complete everything. You're looking at probably $65 per square feet. It needs roof. There's a lot of things. I mean, this property is really, really bad. Okay, anyways, you will notice that when you're looking at the cost of the money on any properties over $500,000, it start getting a little too expensive unless you have a big spread. All right. So let's do this one. Let's just do this one and see what we can find out. All right. So let's do this one here. Oops, give me 1 second. I don't know. This one's gonna be really okay. We'll see. Let's do a quick analyzing right now. Okay. So let's try that. Boom. Let's do Isabel. Isabel.
When you do submit offers to Mr. Rush, does anyone comps?
Yeah, and you're gonna do the comps later.
But this
once you already talk to the agent. The first thing is to talk to the agent, and I'll tell you the reason why. I've seen people, chasing down a property for a week, and by the time they talk to the agent say, "Oh, we just accepted an offer this morning." So why are you gonna submit an offer? Why are you gonna be wasting time? Why are you gonna even drive to the property if you even haven't talked to the agent yet? You need to talk to the agent. All right. Okay, let's see, 674. So Zillow says 674. Let's see this one is. I don't know. I'm not sure about this one. It's a little weird. 896 times 1.1. Oops. 674. 896 times 1.1 equals 742. So 742 goes into here. 742. All right, and then sales price on this puppy is 640, and then repairs is gonna be, this one's probably gonna be around $65 per square foot because it needs like a lot. So 1096 times 65 equals 71,000. So 71,000. All right, and then profitability, start with 0. Let's do 500. That's 41, 475, 69, so 485, 58, 490, 52, somewhere around there. Let's squeeze in another 5 there, 495. There you go, 47. So now watch this property here. We're offering 77 cents on the dollar, and the spread is $145,000. So in order to make this profitable for you, you would have to negotiate it down $145,000 on average. So the question in my mind is, would the seller accept 145? I don't know. I really don't know. All right, I don't know. You never know.
Yeah.
So my advice: pick up the phone and call the agent. And the conversation is really simple. Hey, John, this is Ronnie Berkshire Hathaway. Our company is interested in buying your property at 123 Main Street, and we can offer you $495,000. How does that sound? That's it. Simple. And see what he says. He's gonna say, "Oh, don't waste your time. We already have an offer for 600." Okay then. Or he may say, "Well, send the offer." Or he may say, "Well, we cannot accept for 495, but if you send me an offer for 550, I may be able to get it through. So I will go here and I'll say, okay, 550, right? And that will put me on a negative. Is there something that we can do in regards to repairs?" Now watch this. After you talk to the agent is when the real research starts. after you talk to the agent.
Because let's say he accepts it.
Because if you call the agent and he says, "Oh, we just accepted an offer this morning," there's nothing we can do, right? Now watch this. If the agent says, "Well, you know, if you squeeze in a couple $1,000 more, maybe we can do something." Yes, I will go and do a full CMA on the property to find out the exact value, the after repair value of the property. Yes, I will pick up my keys and I will go and visit the property to look at the repairs needed, try to guess estimate, you know, how much it's going to cost me for repairs and things like that, trying to work the numbers in a way that, you know, we can make this work, especially if the guy says, well, if you offer me 550, we'll do it, or 525 or whatever. Yes, that's when the research starts. But the problem with most agents is that they start with the research without even talking to the agent yet. I have seen agents going to Victorville, going to Apple Valley, going to Hesperia, driving there to look at properties, taking pictures, doing CMAs, spending 3 days, you know, doing this process. And when they call the agent, they said, "Oh, we just opened escrow today." Like, why are you wasting 3 days of your life if you even haven't talked to the agent yet? That's my whole thing. And the reason I say this is because I'll tell you, this is kind of the rules of thumb, right? For every 20 properties you analyze, for every 20, you'll find like 3 or 4, maybe 5, they're going to be a good deal. If you can get them, it's going to be a good deal. And in the sense that they're priced right, the amount of repairs is not too much, you know, it's a quick flip, you're offering less than, you know, $75,000 spread, you know, kind of like that. It's kind of going to be like a really good deal, right? So out of 20, there's going to be like 5 that are good deals, right?
Yeah.
And out of those 5, if you get to submit offers on those 5, out of those 5, you're probably only going to get accepted 1. But here's the thing, though. If you do 20 properties a day and you submit, you know, 5 times 4, 20 offers a week, and you get 1 out of 20 accepted, you're going to get 1 accepted every week. And if you get 1 accepted every week, you're going to be busy for the rest of the year, right? It's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. The more properties you analyze, the more you talk to agents, the more you submit offers, the more you get offers accepted, the more escrows that you have, the more chances you have of making a lot of money flipping property. And that's what this property flipping is all about. But it's not going to happen if you're spending 5 days analyzing 1 property. It's just not going to work. You're going to get frustrated. All right? You have a question? Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, when you once let's say you get the offer, they accept it, they fix it up, it gets relisted through you.
Yes, absolutely.
And you get paid also on the.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's right. All right, let me stop this right now because the video is getting too long. I don't want it to get too long. That's 33 minutes. Okay, guys, if you need a coaching session, just call me. You know my information. Talk to you later.